That's all good. Hello and welcome everybody to the Why Ukraine live stream. We have our two previous guests, Michael and Emily, to share with us more awesome. And Evie, who is back to health, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, and I just saw how much of a delay YouTube puts on my live streams, because I have it playing on my other monitor. Wow. So welcome to the Why Ukraine live stream again.
Hi.
It cut off the first thing I said. Yeah. So, yeah, totally. Let's see here. I'm going to make sure everything is set up and running. I've been having some power issues here today because there's a power issue, with the. It's not a power outage. It's like power fluctuations.
It's the regulators.
Yes, exactly correct. So if I suddenly go dark, I mean, luckily my internet is on a battery and it's on a separate circuit, and my I have everything on batteries and stuff. It's crazy. So, wow. Jilke, greetings from the Netherlands. Cool. Hugh G, Bell, Blonde, Viper. Good to see you, Viper. Yeah. Good to see everybody here. Super cool. So yeah. I want to talk about today, and I think that you have some stories to share with us, and Emily, I know you do. But my goal today is to give advice for people who, are thinking about coming to Ukraine, and for whatever. I mean, there's different reasons that people come to Ukraine, right? You could be a tourist, you could be a war tourist.
Yeah.
Or like on one channel, it was Dr. Gerdes, one of the YouTube channels you may not know. Somebody sent him a letter going like, "Hey, I want to come to Ukraine," and I'm going to find it actually, because I want to just read part of it, and because I think it's a good example of somebody who wants to come to Ukraine, but really heart in the right place. The most important thing, heart in the right place. Oh, Shere Khan, hey, I'm glad to see you.
Great.
UTV and Ham says Wisconsin Oblast checking in. You guys can't see the comments.
I can.
You can?
Yeah.
Okay, you can. Okay, I just wanted to make sure, because I wasn't sure with the software changes that Restream did.
Yeah, I'm not looking at porn over here. I'm looking at the comments.
I can't.
Well, go. Why aren't you looking at porn? Go back to the porn.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So let's see. Here it is.
I'm just terrible at paying attention to the comments. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah. No, it's all good. That's what I do. I
can't read and talk at the same time.
So yeah. So somebody sent to Dr. Gerdes and said, just from someone looking for help. He says, "I'm planning a trip to Kyiv this summer and need some advice. My plan is to spend about 2 weeks in Kyiv. I need help with the following. Number one, a real estate agent that can find me a B&B rental for a 2-week period.
Airbnb.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, right? And also show me some...
Agent. Wait, no, I'll let you... Okay, you read.
Yeah. So, and also show me some apartments for sale, as I'm considering making the move permanent. He says, I'm interested in the Podil section of Kyiv. You've been to Michael. What do you have to say about?
I have so many questions about this letter.
Yeah.
One. You live around Kyiv. About 20 kilometers from Kyiv in Bucha. They're building new houses. These houses are crap. No
Mhm.
land. They're not even finished on the inside, and they want 250 US minimum.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah. Airbnb, to buy property in Ukraine is a legalistic nightmare sometimes.
Mhm.
You can own a single home or apartment in Kyiv, but you can't buy farmland unless you're a legal resident or a citizen. This is why I'm getting my citizenship, so I can buy a big chunk of land.
Right. About Bucha, I'm very familiar with the area, especially because I was there when it was nothing. I was in the area during what is essentially the period of time where Bucha massacre was going on. I have pictures from Bucha from a time where no one was there,
Mhm.
and where everything was blown up, or not everything, but the city wasn't a city. That's what I want to say.
Mhm.
And then a year later, everything was, I couldn't recognize any of it. It was a whole new city.
Yep.
And
My
so,
apartment is in Irpin.
yeah, and Irpin too. Like, damn.
I love
Yeah.
Irpin.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was in Irpin about 3 weeks ago now.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and it was nice.
Not the same.
No.
And it's
No.
interesting how quickly they can rebuild it. Keep in mind, it can go back to that situation again really quickly too.
Yep.
I have questions about the letter.
Yeah.
At first, I was like, real estate agent and Airbnb. Well, go on Airbnb. I think the thing he needs is someone who can recommend areas to stay in and then find them on Airbnb and what to look out for.
Yeah.
And I do have a few key points on that, depending on what he'll be doing. But if he's only there for 2 weeks, I mean, I don't know what the goal is. Is he going for 2 weeks?
Oh, just wait. We're not
Or
done.
I want to find a new home. Okay, I don't know what there's so much that needs to be said in that letter.
Yeah, he's no. I mean, understand.
Has he been there before?
Charles is the man's name, and I want to make sure that if he ever watches this, I want to hope, because I am going to contact him.
Yeah, I want to advise as well.
Yeah, because he's a really nice guy, really heart in the right place.
Oh, sure.
Charles, please do not be offended when we laugh. That's all I'm gonna say, because
there's no ill intentions.
Yeah, exactly. Because in many ways, a lot of us have been through this stuff because we came with like all these ideas.
Yeah.
And you gotta kind of. There's reality, right? And so it's gonna be funny and interesting. That's why I chose it. So now I do know, Michael, I don't know if to counter your point, because I'm still a little bit ignorant, but I do know someone in our Discord group, Canti, who he's in America right now, but there are lawyers, real estate agents and lawyers who you can, and I actually know a couple who I'm speaking with, there is a process that you can go through to buy a house. I don't know what it is, but if you know the right lawyer and the right real estate agent.
Right. That's what I was saying. You can buy, a foreigner can buy a house or an apartment. What they can't own is substantial land.
Yeah.
Any type of acreage.
Yeah.
Because farmland, they, unlike the U.S., they don't sell their farmland to foreigners.
Ironically, though, a lot of the big farmland is controlled by oligarchs here, unfortunately. But private consumers, private citizens, are only allowed to. Oh, they just changed the law. They changed the law in like 2021 or something, to where private citizens, Ukrainian citizens, can own up to, I think, 300 acres or hectares.
No, hectare is 8 acres. No, they use a different system. It's a weird system. I can't remember the word that they use. It's not a hectare. It's under their terminology is right under an acre.
Oh yeah, Blonde Bombsheller just said 12-acre limit. So yeah, that's a hectare. Okay. Really, a hectare is 12 acres? I thought it was 3 acres or something. Okay.
I think it's 8 or 10.
Okay, well, the point is there's a limit, even for regular citizens, how much land you can own. I don't know how that equates to these oligarchs owning tons and tons of farmland, but who knows how that works.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I want to say if he's looking to buy a permanent home in Ukraine, whether or not he's been in Ukraine already, I'd recommend looking at either an apartment or a house or whatever he wants, where there's a potential lease on it. So you can lease it, and then if you decide to buy it after a year or X amount of years, you can purchase the rest. So it's kind of like it's for sale, but you can sign a contract for a lease, and then the money you use during that lease time will be deducted from the sale price. That's what I would do if I was gonna buy something there, especially if you haven't been there before.
yeah.
If you are going to spend 2 weeks and you're looking for a home to buy, I would start by researching areas and specific places you want to go and see prior to coming. And I wouldn't suggest making a decision within 2 weeks. So
Yeah. And you mentioned I'm interested in the Podil section of Kyiv. The Podil section of Kyiv is the most expensive part of the city.
Wait, please remind me, is that west or east from the little river thing?
It's on the right bank, so the west.
Yeah,
the
it's
west
on the
side.
other side, right? It's on the other side.
It's the part that looks like
towards city center, right?
Yeah. It's
like
north.
When you have the river thing, then either you're on the eastern side, right side of it, or you're on the left side of it.
It's the right side, like you're and then a little east and north.
North of
Krishnatik. Yeah, sorry. Right. That's how I see it in my head.
Yeah. I draw the map in my head.
There's no area in Kyiv I haven't been.
Right.
Yeah. It's just I mean, I lived there. I lived in Kyiv for 2 years, so I actually lived just north of Podil. Beautiful part of the city. Shere Khan says I stay in Podil when I'm in Kyiv. Yeah, it's the part of Kyiv that when I got there, I realized, wow, this reminds me of San Francisco before it turned to shit. And then I realized, no, actually, San Francisco is like Podil, because Podil's been there for like 900 years,
Right. Yeah, see, I prefer Irpin or Bucha, or I don't like being in the city. Never liked cities.
Yeah. Also, I want to say, if you're gonna buy something in Ukraine in general, stay out of anything that's heavily bombed.
Yeah.
Don't do anything city center. First of all, there's one thing is staying city center, but owning something in city center, even in Lviv, it's not really wise right now.
Right.
Last year in March, all of March, that was the worst time when it came to air attacks in Kyiv. Fun times. I was there, and so I don't know. That could potentially be any month next year.
Yeah.
But the reason there was such a hard time was because of the air defense system we had, and other reasons too. But Russia trying to figure out where are the actual protection and where are the loopholes. So that's why we got bombed in time.
Yep.
And a lot of it got shut down, but there were still a lot of impacts, and it was really shitty to be there at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but even the missiles that got shot down would fall on.
There's debris, guys. It doesn't just disappear.
Yeah. I like Shatoma for that area. I love Shatoma, but my forever home is going out towards Carpathia.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I want the mountains.
Yeah. No, most of last year when I wasn't in the Legion training, I was in Transcarpathia in Beregova. And that's just because my wife's company rented us an apartment in Transcarpathia, this little, really a Hungarian, like half Hungarian town, and it was nice. But I'm glad I mean, I definitely want to have a house in the Carpathians for sure. Or at least in the west of Ukraine, because I think it's the nicest area. But this is kind of like, to me, this little area that I'm at, in the center of Ukraine, it's like the Shire from Lord of the Rings to me. Like all my little hobbits walking around.
I prefer that over the big cities.
Yeah.
I don't like Odessa. I mean, I'll go there and party, but I don't like it. I don't like Kyiv. I'll go there and party, but just get me out into the country.
Yeah, yeah. And that's very interesting because it's very different from the Ukrainian perspective. Okay. So first of all, Ukrainians are like, why the hell would you want to live in a little village? You know, they want to live in the tallest building at the tallest level of the tallest building because they think
no. I'm not staying at the top ever.
Well, especially now with power outages and bombing, people are even Ukrainians are less likely to do that. But a lot of Ukrainians have this mythological belief that Americans all live in tall skyscrapers because I guess they see that in the movies and they think that's what we do. But with regards to, you know, like, can someone find me an apartment for sale or something? Anytime I mention that, something along those lines to a Ukrainian, the first thing they say is scammers. Like, because any Ukrainian will tell you that, and have told me many times, Ukraine is full of scammers. I can tell you that I haven't experienced that as much, but
me neither.
I guess it depends on. I mean, I have encountered scams and scammers here, but I think, like, the way Ukrainians, especially if you're renting a house, you count every kopinka, you know. And so, like, the way they think about it is like you have to pay commission when you rent an apartment. And they're like, that's a scam, you know. And I mean, just all.
And the same thing with utilities. I mean, if you ever gotten a utility bill like I do in Open, they're always trying to add, you know, 100 or 200 hryvnia to the bill for whatever reason.
Yeah.
You know, they're always trying to scam you. Even the utilities try to scam you. But how is that different than the U.S.?
Right, exactly.
Lord, just be grateful for the low taxes, okay?
Yeah, well, I'm sure.
But the amount of, like, in Denmark, like, I don't care about the minor scams over Eastern Europe because I'm in Denmark. I feel like my whole tax system is a scam. I pay taxes when I earn money. I pay taxes when I use money. I pay taxes when I die. You know, it's so stupid. And so there's taxes on everything. There's nothing here that isn't expensive.
even your dog's butt. But
in Denmark, do you have
my dog? I have to pay to have her.
Do you have a thing called a trust system?
Like a trust fund thing?
Yeah, it's kind of like a trust fund thing.
Yeah, so we do. When you have children, you can open up a trust for them that gets released when they're 18, unless you sign prior for them to only.
You have a living trust.
What?
A living trust.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning for yourself. Meaning you can.
Oh, so like if you die, your money goes somewhere?
Yeah.
No, but while you're alive, you can add to the trust, and the earned income from that trust is taxable. But the money that you put into the living trust is not taxable.
I have no idea how that works. I'm
well, you know, as a soldier, when I was younger, I set it up when I was younger in my 20s. So I incorporated my name. And by incorporating my name, I minimize taxes across the board.
Right. So let me explain.
Holy crap.
If I have a will, if anyone had money or anything your kids could inherit or whoever you wanted to give it to, they pay taxes just to receive that money, which is already taxed 3 times.
That's right.
When it was earned, when it was, you know, when it was standing still, it's still being taxed.
That's why you use a trust. That way you avoid all of that when you die.
Not in Denmark.
Yeah, we need to do a whole live stream just on that, man.
Yeah, it's stupid. Even my pension.
So, all right. So let me move on to the next question. There are 6 questions in this letter. Yeah.
I'm gonna try and stay on topic, guys. I'm sorry.
It's all good. It's all good, dude. It's all good. So, second question: can you provide me with information on the best way to get to Kyiv from Warsaw? Is it possible to hitch a ride on one of the supply missions?
No.
I have an international driver's permit good until April 2025. I am willing to drive.
I would, that wouldn't be your best route. Your best route is to take the train down to Krakow or take a bus from Warsaw. Get across the border to Lviv, hop a train, take the train down to Kyiv. That's probably your better option. But now, if you want to, what's that rideshare service? I've never
BlaBlaCar.
BlaBlaCar. There's always BlaBla cars going back and forth from Poland to Lviv or Kyiv or points east and south.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Can I make a quick disclaimer to a comment in here?
Sure.
About living in Denmark.
Yeah.
I don't hate the system. Denmark is a great country. We have a safe system. We're good and all that, and it's a lot of welfare, but it's expensive to have, and that's my concern.
Yeah.
That's all. Yeah. From Warsaw, getting on a bus from the main Warsaw the bus station is actually the easiest and cheapest route. You don't even need to pre-buy your ticket. You can just show up, and there will be buses going, but I don't know when. You can go on Omeo and book a bus there too. That will most likely be the Flix buses. They are a bit more expensive than if you get a random bus.
Flix bus.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, Flix bus. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're also very comfortable. And when you're 6'2", leg room matters.
Yeah.
Seriously.
However, you cannot bring pets on the Flix bus, just so you know. and then there's always trains. Also, no, you will not. This is not a fact, but most likely you will not be able to join a supply run unless you already know the people. I can join a supply run because I know some of the suppliers from Denmark, and I can be like, hey guys, and I help them, they've helped me, and etc. But random people that has nothing to do with supply runs usually don't get a ride.
I think maybe that was the case in like March of 22.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Anything that worked in the beginning of the war is no longer.
Right.
Can I respond to this person, Canti Ludan?
Yeah, Canti Ludan. Yeah,
the trains from Warsaw to Kyiv and back and forth, they are available, but tickets sell out within minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so unless you're on your laptop hitting refresh all the time, getting a ticket from Warsaw to Kyiv is probably not a high percentage in that.
I don't think I've ever taken that route, actually.
It's just added. It's new.
It's new. So everybody and anybody are using that as quickly as they can. So getting tickets for that is very difficult.
Yeah,
you're gonna have to break your trip up in a couple stops.
Yeah. Canti, we were talking about you earlier, Canti. I mentioned because Canti owns a couple of homes in Ukraine. He's in America right now. But
there you go. Buy a home.
Yeah. Cheryl just said I have an interview with Engin this morning. Is that like an English school? So Cheryl has been looking to do some volunteer teaching or some English teaching of Ukrainians. And I tried hooking her up with my school, and it didn't work out. So I'm glad to hear. Looks like she lives in Arizona, and
that's cute.
Yeah, Red Devils.
The Ukrainians are really appreciative of anyone who can teach English at the moment, and they have been ever since Crimea was a thing, right? I was with a team. We were complicated, but a part of the Legion, and so we went to one guy who rented the house to us. He owned a school. It was a private school, and it was in an area where there was some issues with the neighbors. So we were there for an event to act as more security, and so we were there and we took turns and did the rotations and all that. But then the kids who were at that time between 2nd and 5th grade, they were so curious about military, and especially us because we were foreigners. And damn, 2nd graders can speak English, guys.
Yeah,
this is insane to me.
Would you like to talk about the new it's not new anymore, but the constitutional law where the official constitutional language is Ukrainian and English?
Yep.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yep. They
That
changed
happened
that.
about a year ago.
Yep.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that
It
means
doesn't
you
mean
can
that everything has changed. It doesn't
Correct.
mean that like everybody started speaking English, but
No.
Right.
This has been a thing
know.
for years.
But you can take
Yeah.
your citizenship test in English now.
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And
Oh,
what about driver's test? Can you take driver's test in English?
I don't know. I have an international license, and I've never needed anything else. When I've rented cars, I just use my Texas license.
Yeah.
But I also have my military ID, so I flash that in and out of Ukraine from Poland to Ukraine.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
get access to whatever I want.
I want to
Yeah.
just, there's something, I was told I even could bring my pit bull, so I guess you can bring your pet, but be sure to have an international passport and all that. Yeah, you can bring your pet. You cannot bring pets on Flixbuses. That's what I was saying.
On the train, though, people bring their dogs on the train.
It's only Flixbus that I'm aware of where pets is a no-go. And they are also a company that works all over the world. I can take a Flixbus from Denmark to anywhere in Poland and even Ukraine. So just to put it into perspective, this is a specific company I was talking about.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Keep in mind, if you bring a pet and it has an EU passport, you can definitely bring it into Ukraine. If you don't have a test that proves that your pet never had what is called never had that thing when Jesus, what's the word? You get a vaccine for it. Rabies, right?
Oh yeah. Right.
Yeah. If you need a test that proves that it didn't ever have rabies, although it's a vaccine, to get it back out of Ukraine.
Okay. Oh,
it's not the same rules to get in as to get out. So having just the vaccine is not enough when you want your dog back out.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I know that because I was stuck with my dog.
There's a higher percentage of rabies in Ukraine than anywhere in Europe.
Yeah.
Really?
But I was
a lot of wild dogs. You know that. There's a
Yeah.
lot of wild dogs around. They do try to
Yeah,
keep
yeah,
up with them.
that's true. That makes perfect sense. It's well, it's like it reminds me of the Indian reservations, honestly.
Yeah.
You know, with wild dogs running around
Yeah.
biting the crap out of people, you know, and whatever. Yeah. Saw it today actually, and not even in like a war-torn town, just you know, but I will say in my city, all of the dogs who are like the regular dogs in the city, they all have ear tags, so they've all been, you know,
even the wild dogs you see in the street will have ear tags because they inoculate them and let them go.
Wow.
Yeah.
And there's different colors too. There's one, they're the ones they've got a blue, yellow, green, and red one. And they're different colors for different reasons. I don't know what they are.
I went off topic again. What is the next question?
Oh, well, I was just noticing that. So Cheryl in our group here, she's getting ready to teach English, and
that was the thing.
Her computer doesn't have a camera because she has just a desktop computer. So Cheryl, you can buy one for like $20 online, and you just set it right on. You just plug it in, set it on top of your monitor, and it'll work just fine. Do everything you need.
Just make sure,
you need to make
turn it off when you're undressing.
No. That's what OnlyFans is for. Yeah, but you do also, Cheryl, consider that you need to have a microphone. You don't have to have a good microphone like this, but if you have a desktop system, it probably does not have a microphone. You can buy a microphone for about $5 at your local, like at Walmart or something.
But the cameras come with microphones too. A
lot of the cameras do. That's true.
It's directional, so you need to speak right into it. But if you speak this way, you might not get a good result.
Right. Yeah. So anyway, yeah. So all right, next question. Let's see. My choice was to join the International Brigade, not International Legion. He said International Brigade. My choice was to join the International Brigade. However, I have no military training, and I am past the age cutoff, so I don't think they will take me.
Wait, so he's older than the limit? Is that?
Well, the limit is 65.
That's what I'm thinking.
I mean, I'm 56, or I'll be 56 in June.
You know what? age is nothing but a number, but experience is not just a number.
There it is.
Here's my thing. If you were to be accepted anywhere and not fit the description, I would be concerned. And that's how I feel about, inexperienced 18-year-old that's waiting to be done with his high school and come over.
Same deal.
If a unit accepts him, I'm worried about why. And because it's not because he, I've had people in my team I took in who were young. I'm still young, but younger than me, who had no experience and who really didn't have any valuable skills. The only reason they really were succeeding is because we provided the training they needed, and we didn't let them go anywhere until they were at a level where it was, we could justify getting them in somewhere, and we'd tell them which unit to go to. So I just, if you really don't match the description, there's a big chance you're a liability. And if somebody accepts you knowing that you're most likely a liability, then I can't think of anything else than cannon fodder. And that scares me. I'm not saying that's the case. They might have a 3-month, 4-month, 6-month training program for you. I don't know that.
If anybody's ever read my post, I'm actually quite critical of people with no experience. Based on very personal reasons. I've lost a few people that I recruited and sent over, and they were in the Norman Brigade, not the International Legion. But they were trained, and their death had nothing to do with their lack of training. It was just the fog of war, But that's not the point. Like I said, if anybody's ever read my post, I'm really critical. And when Olga or somebody asks me if I could get somebody in, my question is always, do you have provable military experience?
Right.
Just don't tell me you were SF Jeff in your home country, because, I don't play that.
I've never heard that one before. SF Jeff.
It's a British term.
To be honest, if a unit of any sort, depending on what they're doing, etc., but if a unit of any sort takes someone who's not only just inexperienced but have no skill sets needed, just as medical or whatever, if they're taking you in, I hope it's because they have a system or they have the capability of taking care of you until you have something. Like, for example, during a 3 months intensive training, and so if they don't have that, if they're like, here's 2 weeks of training and a weapon, go out, then don't go. Don't. Especially
well, Emily, you were in Bucha at the same time I was. Do you remember how many, the term I use are billies, how many billies were on the front line with no military experience?
Yeah. I call them
I had one on my team. Fortunately, he was gracious enough to leave all his equipment behind before he went home.
Yeah.
Hey.
Don't get me wrong. There was a little persuasion involved, but he decided to leave all his equipment behind so I could give it to the Ukrainians.
Keep in mind, when I talk about this, about having experience and all that, I didn't have any experience nor anything before coming to Ukraine. And my situation was, I'm just going to the border for 2 days to help. 14 months later, oh, look at me. So I'm not only saying it as a person, I'm not saying it as, oh, I have all the experience in the world, I can, vouch for this. I'm saying it because I've been playing different roles and I've been involved with different people and I've seen things and et cetera, et cetera. I hate that sentence, by the way. I've seen things. But I'm not talking only out of my own physical experience. I'm also talking out of what I've seen others do and been involved with. And so, nevertheless, good advice is good advice, even if, if you've been through it or not. I just don't want to sound like I'm Special Forces assault something. I'm not. Yeah.
So in my experience in the Legion, in training, of course, I showed up with no experience, and I would say about 50% of the guys in the training had no military experience whatsoever. I would say out of a group of, let's say, 60, maybe 1 or 2 had actual combat experience, and then about half of and I think that they try to limit in each cohort how many people in the training group have no military at all versus at least some military background, so that just for the purpose of keeping things organized, but I mean, now I must say that I have friends in the training program there now who when they were new, when I was being trained, like they were new guys, and they are now trainers themselves. And they saw the terrible the terrible situation that it was, and I know that they have worked to improve it and are doing better than it was. And when I was there, when I was in training, everyone said, "Oh my God, it's so much better than it was a year ago." So I was there in summer of 2023, and everybody was saying, "Do you have any idea how terrible it was last year?"
You were in summer 2023?
Yeah.
Oh, you don't even know the 22 issues then.
No. Oh, I mean, I've heard the stories. I've read the article.
But guys, I do want to say I've been talking a lot about just avoid the Legion. I'm taking all of that back now after seeing what's been going on lately and how it has improved. I can no longer be like judging it from what I saw in 2022. It's not the same thing, and actually everything that was in 2022 was shut down and redone multiple times since then. 2022, if I say 1st battalion and if I say 3rd battalion, anyone who was there will like be like this.
Yeah.
And so,
for sure.
Yeah, I would only join a Ukrainian only unit. That's why I joined the 78th. And before that, I was with the 36th Brigade under the 3rd Marine Battalion down in Mykolaiv.
Yeah.
I am changing location, guys. Sorry.
Okay.
Excuse me for a moment.
You're leaving Denmark?
She's getting the Flix
I'm
bus.
flying now.
She's on a Flix bus.
Yeah, I got a bus coming in.
So going back to the original question, about being past the age cutoff, I think, Mike, you said something very important last week, which was the physicality, being prepared for the physicality. Doesn't matter even so much, how old you are, or young you are, or whatever. You need to be ready to, Canti here said that right. Honesty is the best policy. Be honest with yourself first and foremost, and pass the honest evaluation to the groups you want to work with. That will go much farther with them than some fluffed resume. That's a very good thing too. But before you go, it doesn't matter if you're 60 or 26. And
there's jobs for you if you're too old, too broken. There are jobs for you. There's things you can do, just not as a tier 1 operator. I mean, there's tier 2 and tier 3 operations going on all the time. There's supplies. There's admin. There's a whole bunch of things that are going on that have nothing to do with pulling a trigger.
Oh, Viper here says something very important. Training is provided by the Legion, and skills can be trained and learned. I prefer someone with basic combat training, as they don't have the shit ideas and habits.
That's actually something I've been saying a lot. When I had some teams, right? And I was recruiting people, and also the people that eventually got out and did things, the most successful people wasn't people that had fought in other wars, or, people that had, years of training, etc., or been a part of any military. It was actually the people that came in green, because they didn't have all the bad habits, and they didn't have the mindset of our standards are the best and could adapt to whatever the situation is.
But that percentage is still low, at least in my experience. Yes, 1 out of every 10, 2 out of every 10 fit the bill that you're speaking about. But most of them come with no idea of the reality of what's going to hit them in the face.
Sure.
And when it hits them in the face, they crack under the pressure.
Yeah.
But then again, our initiative was different. We did spend months on preparing them, compared to like joining and signing a contract. This was what our thing was. We got people and we send them out to where they fit.
If someone had no experience, and let's say they're in America or whatever their home country is, but maybe they've got some time. They've got some time to prepare, right? Would you say that they should go get some kind of like, I don't know, basic gun training or do CrossFit? I don't know what.
Yeah, hey guys, learn how to clean your freaking weapons.
Yeah.
Before you do anything else with the weapon, learn how to break it down and clean it.
Yeah.
That's what I spent most of my time doing with weapons. Actually,
say if anyone is going over and they want to join a unit, do not put in an application or start looking for a unit until you are ready to go. If you have 6 months until you're going, do not reach out to any units. Do that a month before, because most of the units are going to say, can you be here in a month? Maybe even in a few weeks. And if you're going to say, I can be there in 3 months or 4, maybe 5, then they're going to be like,
go away.
Oh, you're wasting their time. And I understand that you want to be as prepared as possible, but get prepared, be ready to go, then apply. It's not about you not wasting time with yourself. Your time is not relevant. You're safe. There are the people out there, recruiting or not, who is on ground, who's busting their ass, who's doing 12-hour fights before they get a sip of water. Those people don't have seconds to waste on even responding to your message. So out of pure respect for the people that are currently fighting or involved with this war, do not reach out to them before you're ready to go.
Correct.
And if you need training, get that training. And I want to say something about, no matter what your age, experience, etc. is, in August 10th, there's an 8-day training in Poland. This training is intense, and if you cannot pull through this whole training, you are not going to the front lines. That's just that's a fact. And I will tell more about that training for anyone who's interested. But for now, I'm gonna say it starts at 6 p.m. and it ends at 6 a.m. is when it starts and it ends at 10 p.m. And there's also trainings in the middle of the night. These are intense trainings. And the first day is a fitness test, special forces standards. You can get evaluated by special forces instructors that will tell you where are your weaknesses, where do you need to work harder.
That's really good.
What kind of units do you fit into? Would we recruit you? Yeah? You're not being recruited though. Do that training. It's in Poland and it's cheap as fuck. Just do it. And if you can't do that, keep
also
in mind,
focus on taking medical training too. If you can take medical training while you're waiting to come over, build up your medical training, build up your medical resume. That's important. Weapons training is important. Physical fitness is important. But just remember, this isn't Hollywood. For you guys who've never been in a fight, it isn't Hollywood. Even seasoned veterans are scared.
Yeah.
I mean, you're sitting there and there's nothing you can do. You can't run left, you can't run right, you can't run back because they're just DFing you the whole time.
Yeah, even as a supply runner. I mean, a supply runner in the east or near front line or on front line.
Yeah.
It's not actually on front line, but still, you know what I mean.
And if you've ever been under a DF, then you understand that no matter how good you are, you just got to sack up and take it and wait for the rush.
Yeah. My point about that 8-day training is really not whether or not you can survive the front line, is whether or not you can survive everything else. So, because when you're on the front, like when you're in the hot stuff, you also have adrenaline to carry you through. You don't have that during this training. You just have your actual capabilities. And most people on average, like if I tell you to do as many push-ups as you can, you're going to give up at 40% on average. 40% of your capability. That's when the human brain starts getting in your head and they're like, you can't do it anymore. And you have that devil sitting on your shoulder. You can push 60%.
I like this question from Blonde Bombshell. The language barrier.
Depending on the unit.
Right. It can be a problem, but start with simple words. I every morning in my unit I say good morning. And eventually I had the whole regiment saying good morning to me. Not doubly day, but good morning. Finally, I got to a point where I got in front of the battalion and I told them, I said, listen, I said, there's no way I'm going to remember the password. So if you hear me say good morning, you'll know who it is. And I said, if any fuckers shoot me, I will kill you. And they just laughing.
Damn. Also, two words to learn the difference of is left and right. That's very important, especially if you work in a unit where there are both internationals and Ukrainians. They might be used to speaking English, but when their brain starts, when they're under specific pressure, they switch back to basic Ukrainian, and you don't know,
or Russian even,
or Russian. I mean, or Eastern Ukrainian.
Right. I was learning more Russian early on in the war than I was Ukrainian because I was down by the Black Sea.
Oh yeah, I was just east. That's how I know. Anywho, so I want to say, if anyone is looking to come over and they need training or want training, they have time for training, I have access to that training for you in Poland. You do not even need to cross the border before you get your training. And these are short, precise trainings by very good instructors who are either ex-special forces in various places or ex-special forces instructors.
Yeah, I actually used the graphic from that as the thumbnail for this live stream.
That's the next few trainings.
Is Yavoriv still active as a training center?
Yeah.
I know Ternopil is. So if you have no plans, you can either go to Yavoriv, which is real close to the Polish border, or you can go down to Ternopil, where the main recruiting station is.
Okay, let me just tell you though, if you just show up there, I did this. Okay, I went to Yavoriv in November of 2022. Okay. And I just showed up with a bunch of bags, and I was like, I'm gonna join the Legion. And I mean, I didn't know where to go. I went to the army office in Yavoriv. I spent about 2 hours arguing with them to let me in.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. You can't actually just go to the Yavoriv base if you're not.
There is a place you can go, but
you
have to know the right people to talk to.
Also, and it's not actually in Yavoriv, right?
No, it's not actually.
It's outside the city a little bit, but Yavoriv is the
region.
Is the pinpoint where you would go to?
Yes, exactly. So
they got a good sushi bar up there too.
What?
They got a good sushi bar in Yavoriv.
I don't know about that.
Yeah. You go down the main street, take a right by the government buildings as you're leaving the city. It's off to the right. It's really good.
Anywho, as I said, don't apply until you're ready. So if you're ready, you can go Yavoriv.
Now, what people have done, who I know personally, is when they go to so they've gone to the border, and no, okay, Viper says no, please don't follow the process, please. Okay. I know the process is kind of a mess right now. The recruitment process for the Legion. We're talking specifically about the Legion. And other groups, like Michael, you joined another group. I don't know how to get in contact with those groups. I don't know. I guess if you're military, when you see someone else with military experience, you know them at a distance, and you're just like.
Well, I was vetted early on when I was in Lviv. I was vetted. Actually, the SBU main office is about 2 blocks from where my apartment was in Lviv.
Oh.
Yeah, so I was vetted really early in the process, and I brought all my documentations, my DD-214, my medical, my everything I needed to prove who I was.
Let's see. Cheryl just asked, somebody please teach left and right. So Zliva is left, and I'm not sure I'm getting the right conjugation right. Zliva and pravi. That's
Pravi, though.
Pravi is right.
I always call it Prava. I don't know why.
Yeah, right.
I don't know why.
Yeah, pravi, okay. And yeah, means like right. So like there's a.
Also remember this phrase, guys. Jakoyo za dopomoho.
Huh? What did you say?
Jakoyo what?
Za dopomoho.
Wait, no, I can't hear you both at the same time. Say it again.
Jakoyo za dopomoho.
Okay.
It just means thank you very much.
Yeah.
That's all. And that gets you a long way with the Ukrainian people.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
I mean, just Jakoyo will suffice most of the time.
You can shorten thank you very much by Jakomo. That's all.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, let's see. However, as I was saying, if you need training, I can get you training in Poland before you even decide if you want to go join something. You can just reach out to me. The number on that picture you put on is wrong.
Yeah, that's why I actually blacked it out, and so
I'm gonna give the number.
Yeah.
And from hopefully autumn at some point, there will be new initiatives. Right, James? We're working on something.
Yeah, we're not actually. When you should check what's it called? Signal when we're done with our live stream.
Yeah, I saw some messages, but I can't look at them right now.
Yeah. When we're done with the live stream,
Deal with that after. Yeah. Right. There will be options for training.
We're working on it.
And it will not only be for people that wants to go. Most likely also be people that are on ground.
Yeah, so some of us who are in this group, we're and actually, Michael, I've shown this proposal on the live stream, and a lot of people know about like what we are kind of working on there. So,
and I think it's a terrific idea.
Yeah. So the point is, I've already done it.
Yeah.
This whole idea they have, I've already done, and I stopped when I ran out of money.
Money is the key problem, right? That's the real deal.
I already have access to all the potential facilities needed, both in Ukraine and in Poland, so it can kind of be split up. And I have all of the best I can think of instructors in various areas who can instruct and all that. All these people, they're available if it's planned right. And so I'm pretty much just giving everything I have and had to James, and we're going to make sure it's better than what I did before. So that's pretty much what's happening.
All right.
I don't have time or money to keep it going. So I need others to do it. And you don't even need to use the same name. I'm not doing it to be, hi, I was the original. Just do the job. I don't care how. Just do it right.
Well, when I do have money, this is what I spend it on.
That better be poker chips.
Yeah, and so we're looking. That's interesting because we're looking for a way to get this more quickly.
Whatever's coming out of that box, keep in mind this will be shown on YouTube.
It's a portable. It's a portable ultrasound.
Yeah. Oh, that's the thing. Yeah, we're still working on getting that sorted.
Incredibly.
Yeah, I'm working my angles too, but in the early days of the war, you had no problems getting stuff to Ukraine. Now it's like pulling teeth.
Well, as I said, get it to Europe, either the two countries I mentioned, and then it'll be no issue for me to get it over. I can get it hand delivered. It could even go to the front. Like that's it.
Well, I'll be in Scotland next week, so.
Yeah, well, that's still across the pond.
Yeah, but it's easier. It's cheaper. It'll be cheaper to get it to Poland at least.
It's closer.
If you can get it to Scotland, actually, if you will be in Scotland, I will reach out to my British friends, and if we can get it to England or something, then yeah,
I can. I'll be in England. I'll be in Bishop Auckland for a few days as part of my trip.
Right. Okay. Let's get back on.
Okay. All right. So Leonard, number 4 here. Question number 4 is another choice is to be a driver delivering vehicles and supplies. I have an international driver's permit good for 1 year starting April 2024. Yeah. I got the permit in order to do this.
Mm.
That's interesting.
All right. So being an ex-supply runner, coordinator. Not actually. I don't have a driver's license. A lot of the current main supply runners are actually not based on ground. A lot of those that are providing the most of supplies to the front lines and etc. are different countries in Europe that they're based off, and they do runs multiple times a week.
Yeah.
They bring all from like vans to trucks. So in order to be that and actually be assured to do something, you'd probably be based in a different country, or you'd be. There are organizations that are operating from ground up, of course.
Do you want to talk about the problems at the Polish border now with the truckers?
Yes.
Yeah, do not go in trucks.
Yeah.
Don't do trucks. And also there are ways to avoid certain things. Most of the time I don't even want to go through Medica. I used to have access to updates on the borders. I can get that access again, so that, and I can share with everybody how to get access to that. So that you can keep updated on which borders are wise to use on that time you're arriving. So you can go through further up north. I forgot all of the borders names, of course, because I haven't been on ground for quite some time. And so sometimes Medica is actually the best one for a few hours.
You also have Romania and Moldova too as an option.
I do not trust going through Moldova at the moment.
Maybe not Moldova, but Romania.
Romania, yeah.
But it's so much longer of a drive.
You might as well just take another border.
I mean, because you're driving. I mean, but yeah, my understanding is it's a lot easier coming through there. I went through the border at Slovakia and had to wait 7 freaking hours.
That's not even a long time.
I know.
Yeah, nowadays, that's not a long time. The lines coming in and out are awful.
I have I have more than 30 stamps in my passport from supply runs across the borders, right? And I can confidently say that majority of the time I've been spending maximum 1.5 hours getting from the Polish side of the border and to be out on the other side. And back then there's other things that has played in. I had some pretty awesome paperwork, but just knowing which border to use in that moment is pretty good benefit.
And remember, everything moves on stamps. If you don't have a stamp, you're not moving.
Yeah, also that. When I show my passport, they'll be like, "Oh, loyal, go, go, go."
No, I mean stamps on the paperwork. If you don't have stamps on the paperwork,
those.
Yeah.
So I'm still looking.
Nothing's moving.
Oh my lord! I can't get those paperworks I had before anymore. But similar, I was like at a point where I could just drive through every checkpoint, wouldn't get any questions. Doesn't matter if it's curfew. Man, I kind of missed the beginning days.
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah.
You could get so much in. You could get so much accomplished in the early days. Now it's all back to bureaucracy.
Yeah, like even the border guards knew me. They were like, "Oh, it's you again."
Yeah, but with my military book, I come and go real quick.
Yeah.
I think we lost James there.
Oh, James. Oh fuck. Oh, sorry. We're the ones. I don't know how to do him. I get scared.
Yeah. Well, I promise not to show anything revealing.
I think if you're only staying for 2 weeks, figure out what organizations are working from ground and see who you could be beneficial with.
In 2 weeks, think about the cost that what the cost is. The cost of 2 weeks is very expensive.
I think, to
it's
be honest,
so expensive.
Yeah, I think the best thing, if you really want to help and you can only be there for 2 weeks, is actually just to donate the cost it would cost you to be there for 2 weeks.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Please donate to people that are actually doing the work on ground.
Yes.
Wow.
Hey.
That was my stream. I
was scared.
We didn't even notice you were gone.
Yeah, so power issues here. Welcome to Ukraine. Actually, to be honest,
bringing someone at the border to help you cross.
Bribing someone. Yeah, it could work, but if you get caught, and you're on the Ukrainian side, trust me, they're cracking down on corruption like you wouldn't believe. And so if you get caught bribing somebody, you could just be asking for trouble that you don't need.
I wanna explain this whole bribing thing. You choose to. The only time you bribe someone is when they tell you to. If you get stopped anywhere and they want some of your shit, you give it to them, and that's a bribe. And they're gonna ask you specifically, "Do you have a gift for me?" That's bribe. You do not show up and offer it, because I once offered. I once a border guard I knew and I had met many times a piece of chocolate just to be polite. And she was scared. She was like, "What are you doing? No, don't do that." Because it can be seen as bribery.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
I'm not allowed to give anything to them. And so I didn't know that. I was just being polite. I had chocolate and I knew she liked chocolate.
Well, I always offer pool patches. Whenever I'm going back across the border, I always carry pool patches with me. That is such a wonderful thing for the soldiers over there. They love pool patches.
They do. Well, that's one thing. That's not actually. I don't think they'd see that as a potential bribe.
No, exactly.
What kind of patches?
The Velcro patches.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
The pool patches.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, and I always stock up when I go because it is just a great way of making friends.
Yeah, it is. Do not share chocolate though. Not anything that could be seen as bribery.
Yeah.
No, so
that's funny.
I've been doing a lot of supply runs, and always there's something coming up. And let me tell you one thing: you will most likely, and I'm just speaking from my own experience, you will never be bribed. No, you will never be asked for a gift by someone stopping you if they're military. If it's police forces, they could. Bribery is, corruption is more common there because we are supplying the military, right? We're helping who's defending this country. And there are police forces that are part of military as well. I know you called it a present.
I call it a present.
Of course. It's just the fact, right? There's a lot of things that can be sold for money. I don't judge. I don't judge anyone of the officers that has asked me for a gift. I don't judge them. I will give them whatever, but I will not, to a limit. There are things I will refuse to give, and they will understand why if I say no. But minor things can be a lot more work for them, and they can be in shitty situations. They're just trying to protect their family, etc.
Yeah.
This is like back then it was the Wild West for everyone. So do not judge anyone that is asking for a present. Just give them the present. Keep in mind there are things they should not ask for, even in this kind of authority shit. There was a time where someone took it too far when they asked me for a present, and it didn't end well with him because I had good connections in higher ups. So
see, I've never experienced any of that. I've never no one has ever asked me for a present.
No, well, you probably weren't a full-time supply runner.
No.
That's the point. And no one's gonna ask a military anything for a present.
Right, exactly. I mean, you're in uniform, and they, especially if you're a foreigner in a Ukrainian uniform, trust me, you get nothing but respect.
Yeah, I didn't have to give them most of the time these presents they were asking for. I could just show them paperwork, and they'd be like, "Oh," but it's all about understanding from a nuanced perspective what is going on. And that's why I'm saying this with a smile, this whole present bribery thing. We don't bribe in Ukraine. We give presents, as it was said in the chat. They will ask you for a gift.
It says here, tip your waitresses. Yes, tip your waitresses and waiters, but tip them in cash if possible. Because if you use your card, some of it doesn't go to them.
Oh, they will never ask you for cash. They will always ask.
No, but I'm talking about at a bar or a restaurant. Yeah, it says tip your waitress. Yeah, but always try to do it in cash because because if you put it on your card, then the house takes a percentage of it.
Oh yeah. Oh, bye, James. James disappeared again.
He did.
Is he just expecting us to keep people in here entertained?
Right. When are you going back?
In a few days, hopefully.
Yeah, I'll be back in late August. My injury's almost healed.
Oh, yeah.
So.
I'm doing a short trip. I don't know. So things are getting sorted as we speak about that trip, and I'm not sure how much I should share here. But
I wouldn't share anything, honestly.
Go ahead. I'm back.
Well, there is a point to sharing. So, James,
Yeah.
do you think we should? I don't know. I'm all about OPSEC.
Yeah.
As you know, and I'm hyper hysterical about it. But with the thing that's going on right now we're involved in, it might be wise for the success of it to mention what we're doing. But it's also like I hate talking about anything current. So what are we doing?
Yeah, not yet. I think we're not ready quite yet, but maybe by tomorrow.
Let's do an update tomorrow then.
Yeah, maybe by tomorrow we'll be ready. And we may have to cut my live stream short today, guys, because my power is going crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know what's on and what's off right now.
Have you checked if you have something that's like, is this like a normal issue, or do you have something that's pulling power in the wrong way?
Yeah, no, it happened when it really started happening when they upgraded the local, like the power system at the end of the block in response to all of the these power issues and things.
Okay.
And so
we have people in the group chat now being told to watch our live stream. So should we keep it back on track while we can?
Yeah, for sure.
Let's get the most important questions answered quick and with the kiss moment.
Yeah.
Keep it short and sweet.
Another the next question here is talking about things you can do to help in Ukraine. And the next thing is number 5. Another choice is to train in mine clearing operations. My archaeological
Sorry, can you repeat it?
Another choice is to train in mine clearing operation. My archaeological background will make me excellent at this.
Archaeological? Is he EOD or is he an archaeologist? Okay.
No, he's a sand digger.
He's a retired archaeologist.
Oh, I have a point in this, but I'm gonna let you respond first because I need to remember what the
Listen. Digging for bones is one thing. Digging for mines is another thing. Yes, you have a skill set, but the digging for the mine is the easy part. Getting to that spot alive and getting back alive without being shot or blown up from drones or artillery is a completely different scenario.
Right. Yeah, I agree. But I'm wait, so I just need to make sure I understood correctly. He's not only talking about doing the job, he's talking about teaching it?
No. Training. He wants to train in.
Oh, he wants to train in. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me tell him one thing then. His background with digging, being I can't even pronounce that word in English.
Archaeologist, bone digger.
Being that makes no benefit or gives you any privilege in that field. It doesn't. This is what I'm gonna tell him. If he said that to me to my face, I would tell him exactly. I told the guy who wanted to be a sniper because he hunts. Right? You going hunting does not give you any bet. Like you're not better. You're not a better candidate for being a sniper because you go hunting.
That's right.
It's just not happening, and you're definitely not gonna become a sniper over a day, whether or not you were hunting or not. So, and I'm not. I mean, seriously, you might have a slight benefit if you're a woman. That's it.
Wait. If you're as a sniper.
Yeah, as a sniper.
Oh.
That's a lot of other things.
Women throughout history have been notorious snipers.
Yeah. So if you wanna go do EOD training, go ahead. One thing is to know EOD and then go to Ukraine and then do EOD there because you will still be learning something new. But if you want to do it all from scratch, like that's a challenge that I don't even know if I don't know how to feel about it.
Viper said he can dig trenches.
That he'd be good at. Yeah.
That's actually really useful.
He can identify bodies. I mean, as an archaeologist, he'd be well equipped to identify bodies.
To be honest with
and
you,
archaeology is not related. However, trenches and finding dead bodies could probably.
There is a huge need for that here. But the thing is, I mean, I know that there are organizations doing that here in Ukraine.
There is.
But trying to find them and how and where they are, that's the key. And you're not going to do that in 2 weeks. Is the
it's going to take years. So we have
digging up a bone won't have a booby trap under the mine.
Hopefully not. Fair. I mean, I've heard of crazier things, to be honest. If you ever assault a house and you see a random passport, do not open it. That's all I say. That is a bit.
Yeah. By the way, so UTV and Ham, he before my Shopify was taken down by Shopify, he bought a T-shirt and I had it signed by the 63rd drone, 63rd Brigade drone unit. Anyway, he's opening it up while we're talking, and he just got it in America.
Hey, James, can I be excused for a moment? My I got to turn off my chili.
Sure, it's gonna be excused.
Texas chili.
Okay, wait. I want to respond to this comment. Having an eye and a focus for looking for tiny objects could be a bonus, so long as he is trained in all of the other safety protocols. This is like, it makes sense, but me being an artist who does tiny details is the same fact that is being shown there. There is no related to what he's done to what he wants to do benefit that couldn't be in any other situation.
My understanding that the only group that's doing EOD actual certification for mine clearing, and maybe this has changed since I knew, the only place where you could go even close to Ukraine is there's a group in some country in the Balkans, like Slovenia.
I think you're talking about Serbia right now.
It could be Serbia, where and it costs between $7,000 or something like that. And I mean, you can just Google, like mine clearing or EOD training. Michael, do you know of any actual mine clearing training that's happening in Ukraine where they train people who don't?
No, I don't know any. I don't know any specific units that do it, because honestly, we clear the minefield by just walking artillery in front of us.
Yeah.
So
there's so speaking of EOD, the way EOD works in American movies or in general in any NATO country is not how it's being done in Ukraine. And that's why I can confidently say that being I still can't pronounce it, archaeologist, is not making you any more beneficial in the training than I would. I have other relevant background and etc. And that doesn't make me a better candidate either. So we're all on the same level when it comes to that if we don't have training or experience with it prior. And this particularly, can't speak anymore, guys. So, and I do want to say there is often a lot of people in general, not pointing at a specific person, but in general, all over the world, in every aspect of anything war related, talking about things that should be obvious, right? Like, if you have this experience, then sure, you can convert it into, and then it's not the point, guys. If you haven't been in that specific, if you haven't been there, like, it's really hard for you to imagine what is actually needed. It's kind of like when I talk about EMTs doing combat medicine and then also teaching it, but never have had combat medicine training. You cannot teach combat medicine if you don't have combat medicine, at least training. So I've been put into a training I was in a. I hate talking about this. I've been instructing in combat medicine not because I'm the ideal instructor, but because I'm apparently good at teaching it. And most of the time, I bring other people over that are way better at teaching it than I am. I don't need to be the one doing it. I was put into a group where we were, supposed to be there for 2 weeks to help other teachers teach. And what I met was EMTs and someone who had 6 months of experience from the front, which he didn't, because technically that couldn't have happened at that time, because you don't spend full time on the front doing it all the time for 6 months. So what I saw there, I couldn't work with, because it wasn't combat medicine. You can't teach how you blood sweep in an ambulance and then convert it to frontline, because that's not how none of these guys were going to be in an ambulance and doing anything. They'd bring their injured soldier to a collection point, and then you know what I'm saying, right?
Right.
So
combat life-saving.
Yeah, it's just, I can't say this enough. Try not to speak specifically about things you don't have anything to do with. You can maybe say things like I say, which is vague things about snipers. I'm not a sniper, but I know for a fact that being a rifleman will not know that being using hunting rifles is not equivalent with sniper.
Well, I mean, unless you are also trained in militarily, right?
Oh yeah, but I'm talking about because you've been hunting animals. I mean, I like
pulling the trigger is the easiest part about being a sniper.
Yeah,
being a sniper has nothing about pulling the trigger. Most snipers, if they're good, their radio is their best tool.
Exactly.
And that takes a lot of military skill to get to the point where you can line up a shot, whether you have your radio or a rifle.
Yeah,
being a sniper has nothing to do with pulling the trigger. Anybody can pull a trigger, and with a little bit of training, learn how to hit a target at 300 to 500 meters.
So Leslie said here, Tip of the Spear. That's an organization I've heard of.
Yeah.
And Harvey EOD are trying. Maybe you meant training in Ukraine.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, there must be some organizations doing it, but it's expensive and it takes a long time.
So from what I know, and I don't know if this is a fact, but what I've seen and heard about, one thing is being an EOD unit that works with everything related explosives, right? This is like the kind of people that could potentially come over if you stepped on something and it doesn't blow up and you want a chance to get out of there. Or it could be like people that, are trying to disarm a bomb. This is kind of an EOD unit, right? And then we're talking about people training EOD, which is most likely will be the people that are just trying to clear what used to be a minefield, right? There's so many different things within the word EOD, just like there's so many different things with the word Special Forces.
Yeah.
Or SSO, or SFO, or SOF. Okay? This is like, if I say SBU and GUR, we are like, it doesn't say me much if you're SBU or GUR if I don't know specific what type of unit you're in.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
So this is just me trying to show the levels of understanding of what we're talking about. This is why people shouldn't talk about whether or not people can be EOD if they don't know specifically what EOD is.
EOD can be anything from carrying munitions to a truck, all the way up to disarming a nuclear device.
Exactly.
That encompasses EOD.
Yeah.
I see.
So, I mean, just because you can pick up a 50-pound shell and load it on a truck doesn't make you qualified to disarm a nuke.
No.
I see. Sure.
And also another example that people might understand is ITAR. Level 4 plate is ITAR. So is a chemical weapon.
Oh.
Yeah.
What chemical?
Do you know night vision goggles are ITAR as well?
Yeah, they are. Especially if they're especially if they're is it bio?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I came over, I had to distribute my kit among other soldiers because I could bring one pair in, but I was bringing 4 pair in.
Yeah.
And 4 pair would have gotten me dinged by ITAR.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think I make my point.
Yeah.
Well, I see we have some new people in the chat, and Il Pirata, thanks for coming. I unfortunately I'm gonna have to cut this short because as Ronnie said, my UPS is dying, and I'm not sure how much more battery I will have. But I wanted to take a second. What is this, Michael? Oh, this is your flag.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
That's the one I got down in her song.
Yeah, I love that story. That was awesome. So I want to. I'm gonna have another live stream on Wednesday, and no, today's Wednesday. No, today. God damn it, today's Thursday. We're gonna have another live stream on Saturday, and I think we might have some interesting announcements then. I'm not sure.
On Saturday?
But Saturday, yeah,
Okay.
will be the next live stream. I do want to take a minute though to Emily, since you were talking about. Hang on. Here we go. Since you were talking about your
Oh yeah.
here we go. This training. Now this is the training you've been talking about, yeah? And with Sylvester, and so maybe send me the phone number again for the contact, and I will put it in the description for this. Yeah. So, and the other thing I would like to say is that we have we're still doing a raffle to buy a drone. I think we're going to buy not this drone, not a $1,000 drone, but a $500 drone. Our raffle right now, I may not have added it correctly because I've got PayPal and Buy Me a Coffee. So this is the Buy Me a Coffee. It's buymeacoffee.com/whyukraine, and you can go here and if you just put in when you put something here, say something like raffle or for the drone, and you'll see So there we go. Yeah, so before my battery dies here in Ukraine, I think actually the power is legitimately out now,
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm running the internet off my phone at this point, which is amazing because I have 40 megabit speed on my cellular data, even though I have no power. But so yeah, I just want to thank you guys for coming, Michael and Emily. This is awesome. We should totally do it again.
I agree.
Yeah,
Why can
totally
I hear
fun.
myself?
What?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah. We can almost smell you.
I'm confused. Why can I hear myself? Okay, never mind.
That's all right. We can. Are you sure you can't hear yourself? Because we can hear you talking. So yeah.
I say something and afterwards my computer's repeating me. It's annoying.
Yeah,
I have something to say about these trainings real quick.
Yeah.
All of these trainings will be back at a time. But Commando 24 is the 8-day training you want to be on if you're going over for the first time. That will show you if you're even ready or where you should get more training. If you're even in good shape. That's the training I was talking about where you get a fitness test.
Commando 24. Okay.
Yeah. 8 days is the most valuable training if you haven't been fighting before, if you've never fought before, if you doesn't matter what level of experience you have, even if you've been fighting for 10 years, there's something you can learn in this course. Yeah.
Cool. Well, yeah. So with that, I want to thank everybody who's here in this live stream, who's and please donate to our drone fund, and I hope I get to see you guys on Saturday. Yeah.
So, I kick off for Scotland on Sunday.
Oh, cool.
I'll be gone for about 3 weeks.
Yeah. Cool.
And my
So that'll
dog
be
is asking. She's
Yeah.
happy.
Okay, cool. All right, guys. Well, Slava Ukraine, everybody. And
Slava.
Heroam Slava.